rest of in the other three towns, as well as the villages, because this is an issue, I suppose, that boils down to a debate over whether it's a safety issue, whether there are different shades of trying to regulate short-term rentals, be it banning them outright or requiring permits or what have you, and factoring in whether or not the short-term rentals stimulate tourism in the local economy of each of these municipalities and the county at large. So last week, the town of Haverstraw moved forward by introducing a bill to ban short-term rentals. There will be another hearing on that on April 12th, but it seems that the inclination in the town of Haverstraw is to follow in the footsteps of Clarkstown and Stony Point. And yet, at the same time, the village of Haverstraw, which of course is within the town of Haverstraw but has its own governmental jurisdiction, sees the situation from the opposite point of view. So Michael, the mayor, Michael Kohut, who is counting on evolving the village into a magnet for tourism, says that he has no plans at this time to foreclose on short-term rentals to, quote, until or unless it becomes necessary. He, as well as the town supervisor of Ramapo, both agree that, both acknowledge that Airbnb and those other platforms like VRBO and others are now a phenomenon throughout the country and the world, and even in the county, and that people are vacationing differently, and they don't necessarily want to go to hotels or resorts, that they want perhaps a more authentic experience, or they want access to a full kitchen or whatever. And his sensibility on this is that he says that we don't want to kill that, because as time goes on, we plan to become a destination, a jumping off point for tourism in the county. Now, I might add here just a little perspective from the county itself. The county relies greatly on tourism, and yes, we do have some hotels here, though mostly they're the chains and the flags. We don't really have a diverse hotel offering here in the county. But every year, the county gives out tourism grants. This past year, for example, it was $205,000. And when they do, they always make a point to add the fact that the average household in Rockland County would have to pay, in this case, this past year, an additional $422 in property taxes annually to maintain current services, if not for tourism-generated sales and local taxes. So the spokesperson at the county did not have anything to say specifically about short-term rental bans. They said, the spokeswoman said, quote, "We do not track data related to short-term rentals." However, it's undeniable that short-term rentals are a factor on the tourism front, and that it's something that has to be factored in when these towns take these measures. I can tell you that in Orangetown, the conversation is also bubbling up, and it's unclear which direction they're going to go in, but you can bet that this will eventually find its way to a town board discussion. And I think the one town where we might expect not to see such a ban would be in Ramapo. The supervisor, Michael Speck, said, he said, just like Mayor Kohut said, quote, "It's a way to promote tourism in the town and region. We know this kind of accommodation has taken off in recent years. It's an alternative to hotels, which are either not affordable or not conveniently located. We see a benefit when it comes to economic growth to keep this option open." And I would say that there was similar sentiment amongst the mayors of Piermont, Nyack, and The other two mayors, actually, the mayor of Suffern, Michael Curley, he made an interesting point. He said that they too are monitoring the situation. He wasn't under any impression that short-term rentals were an issue for his village, but he did say, and I thought it was interesting. He said it would have been nice if there had been a sort of a county-wide discussion on this, so that all the towns and counties could have looked at this issue, collectively. And I actually thought that was kind of, the most insightful quote of all when we reported out this story, because look, I mean, to go back to the county has a real incentive to keep tourism as one of its industries, and you can't outright ignore what the impact is or isn't for banning these short-term rentals. So the issue is going to continue to be part of discussions. I would say for sure coming up in Orangetown, definitely coming back to the board in the town of Havershore in April. So people should keep if they're interested in this topic, and they should just keep their antennas up and within each of the towns. If they have an opinion about this, they should participate at these public hearings and let their town supervisors or mayors know what they think. And again, I just to repeat, I think it would be good to hear from the county on this topic.